So before installing these speakers, I found that it was helpful to just put some 3M tape around it just to make sure that it doesn't rattle as much on the road. You can buy gasket tape for this, but I'm just trying 3M right now. Here's one that's already done. I just put little strips around it here. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but I mean, it's better than just metal on metal. The way to cut this that I've found is the easiest is to just get a length slightly shorter than what you need here, and then I cut it at an angle here because it gives me a little better way to peel it. Then I take a pair of needle nose pliers. No, I don't. First I cut it to size. So I've been cutting this into thirds. Hopefully you have a better pair of scissors to do this with. So here's that. And then what I've been doing to get it off easy is I take my needle nose and I just pinch the actual tape, use my fingernail, and pick off the tape like that. And it comes off nice and easy. And then to apply it, it's very stretchy, so you can just kind of bring around sort of like that. And it's almost like mushy, so you can flatten it out, you can kind of make it conform to it. And you can use more than this. I mean, I don't know if this is going to help or not, but I'm just giving it a try before I install it. A couple of things here. These needle nose are super handy for installing the harnesses as well. So when you first install them, they'll be super rattly, like they're going to shake all around like this. On the small one, I put just a tiny drop of super glue right there, and now it won't, hopefully it won't come off. I don't know how well that's going to work. But for the big one's actually much easier, because you take the smooth needle nose and you put it like this, and you just give it a little squeeze, and now it won't come off. So this is a F150 2013 XLT SuperCrew. We're going to change the passenger speaker. So the first thing you want to do, just to make this easier, is take up the wiring harness that is on the windows and stiff. So the way I do this is I use a tiny screwdriver and I just lift it up like this, and then while I'm holding tension, I just go back here, give it a little more pressure, and it pops right up. So once it pops up, you can see on the underside there's a couple of harnesses. Each harness has a pin. You push the pin, comes out, comes out. That's going to make disconnecting the door a lot easier. If you're worried about rattling, sometimes you can take these out by lifting this part and pulling them out. You can lift this plastic piece and pull it out, and just like undoing those little notches there, and then you can apply some 3M tape on the inside, and it'll just prevent a little bit of the rattling that you might get during the road. So then to take off the door itself, you're going to want to have a little hook of some kind. You're going to open the door handle, reach inside, and give this a pull. And now you see it's sort of popped out like that. So that now you just give it a pull, it comes right out. And then the last panel you need to take off is right here. So I already kind of broke mine, but you should be able to stick a little flathead, just pry it up. Again, mine is sort of snapped off, but that's fine. And now 8mm, use an 8mm socket down here. And then this with the washer, this one with the washer is the one that goes in here. So remember that. And then this one, this is the long one that goes in there. And now switch out your socket for a 6mm. So here's my 6. And then down here, if you want to try to get it, there's two bolts. One is here, the other is over here. We're not going to be able to get a good video of this, I don't think. All right. So those all come off, and then the door just lifts up. Now, I would push this down. It makes it a little easier to get it off. Just lift. So you'll need a pair of needle nose here. So come take a look at this. This is how you get rid of the door latch cable. So there's 2 pins here. It's like a little wing shape right there. You take your needle nose, you pinch those 2 in, and it should pop right out. So like that. And there we go. So now that it's out, you will lift up on the pin here. It's just a little cylinder, and there's your latch cable. So now the door is free. So I'm gonna set it off to the side. You have the old speaker here. It takes, what size is this? I'm using 7/32. And at this point, I wouldn't recommend using any power tools, just so you don't damage anything. So these are the screws that came out. They look very, very similar to the ones that are in the door. So just be careful with that. It is a slightly different size. So just try to keep them organized, which I'm not doing. And then this just slides right out, and it has a wiring harness right down here. Again, just like the previous harnesses, you push and it comes right off. So this is the old speaker. Watch out, this part is magnetic. There you go. And now I have my new speaker here. Now before you install it, just double check that these are actually connected. Save yourself a little bit of a headache later on. And then just checking my tape. And now to plug it in. This takes a little, sometimes it doesn't plug in on the first try, but you need it to click into place. So I kind of wiggled it a little bit, and now it's actually, the switch is pulled up, and so now it's safely in. So now, you're not gonna use the two here, or there. I wonder if I can, yeah, I can flip this over. I don't know if it matters, but I am orienting this so that the logo is upright. Maybe that matters for sound, I don't really know. But you're not going to use the two on the side here. You're just going to go ahead and hand thread one of these to hold it in place. And then you're going to hand thread the rest of them, and then just socket or just ratchet them in until it's just kind of hand tight. So I just want to test it to make sure that it's actually working before I install it, or I put on the door, just to save me a little bit of time. Now, to put the door back on, it is a little bit of a hassle, but there are hooks at the bottom you can see here, and hooks on the side. The door just sits on those hooks, and then you bolt everything in. A couple of things that I've learned, so if it goes down too far, you're not going to be able to bolt it back in place. And then the harness, try to make sure that it's sitting right here, close to where the, wait, I'm in the wrong spot, sorry. Right here, close to where you're going to reinstall it. Because last time I had it too far down, and then I had to sort of pull it back. It was just a little bit of an annoyance. So, first thing you want to do is reconnect the door latch. You do that by taking the little cylinder here and putting it in here, and then pull and push, and there it is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hold this harness. I'm gonna try to stick it sort of here-ish, just so I kind of have it in place. And then there's one here, there's hooks here, here, and here. And then when you're done...
Where were the last two?
Just back here. So when you're done, you should be able to tap down on it, and it won't really move. But you see, I have a problem here because I haven't put the door latch, or the actual pin in. So to do that, you lift this off, you take this, and you bend it. It's got to go under a little bit of a lip here, and then it will feed into its proper location. You can see it's right there. And then you kind of give a little bit of a jiggle, screw it up again. There it is. All right. So now we can see that it's flush all the way around, sitting right where it should be. So I'm sure there's a way to reconnect all of these, but I always start with this one. Remember, 8mm for the top ones. Before you bolt this, just make sure the harness is available for you to install. So on the driver's side, it's very similar. just do the exact same steps, but when you disconnect it, there will be a motor, mirror motor here, and it's just another pull harness. Also, there will be more plugs there, but it's the same principle. And then just, if you're using one of these, just tighten it until it makes a noise. And then you use the other screw, here it is. Switch to your 6. Don't forget about the 2 ones down low. Last thing, take your harness and reconnect it. Again, if you want to pad this like with a little 3M tape, it's not a bad idea. I may do that later if it's noisy. But now that you kind of know how to do this, hopefully this will be easier for you to do. So whenever you install these, if you didn't feel a click, just tug on it, make sure it actually is in the right place. And then you should be able to just press it and do that. And there we go. So now that's sitting normally. And then to finish up, you're gonna reinstall this and then this. So I always mess this up. It goes like this, okay? So you pull this out, you stick it in like this is what I did, yeah. And then you push, and you should feel it click into place, and you're done. That's it. Okay, so on the back door, it's a little different, as I've just learned. You still take off the same panel behind the door handle, just like we talked about. There's still a harness, it's just one connection. And then there is no screw here. There are still 2 down here. But here's the big thing. So right here, there is a little panel. Take a hook tool or a screwdriver, lift it up a little bit so you don't damage the paint. Put the hook behind it, give it a little pull, and it'll pop right off. And then you have one more hidden bolt right here. Take that off. There you go.